Once upon a time, two boys grew up playing hockey in the village of Terrace, British Columbia. One of them went on to play in the National Hockey League. The other became a comedian. Now, one flies planes and coaches youth hockey. The other is still a comedian and owns newsstands. This is their podcast, Enjoying Orange Slices with Jeff and Ian.
Sorry, I got a little nerdy there, but
yeah, that was good. GPSs and I'm still trying to figure out that M word you used early, modeling or something. You said
modalities.
Modality. I was
no,
like,
that
Marty,
okay,
you're gonna have to you got to write these down and send them to us before you start using a modality. And a couple of times on the desk, you've said some words. I'm like, well, I got up my chirp game, but I have no $10 words. Marty, you got them falling out all over the place. So
that's just it's all smoke and mirrors, buddy. I'm just trying to be a little bit more polished on your podcast because it's my first time and I don't really got to read the room a little bit, but I can drop all the swear words too, but. No, that's that word. The modality is just me spending way too much time in a training room throughout my career. And that's just me listening to the trainers. They're like, "Oh, check out, we got this new modality," and it's like, "Well, what the hell?" And they're like, "Oh, this is some red light that is supposed to do something that doesn't do anything at all." But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, that's just me getting hurt too much in my career. That's the only reason why I know what that word is.
I'll be getting a dictionary out for my next transcon flying across the country. I'll be like looking for big words. So I guess now you're kind of switching. How are you enjoying? Where do you want to go with this? Like, you have the chops with the TV. Do you want to coaching? Maybe player development, something like, because some of the guys that you keep in touch with and play with, played with, and you can drop those guys. They're doing this kind of stuff. Where do you see yourself? Scouting, coaching? Like, how do you look at what this next chapter brings for you in hockey?
I don't really know. I mean, I'll tell you right now, and I say this a lot, but mark my words, I will never coach. I don't count like my kids. Like I would coach my kids, but from like a professional standpoint or college or something, like I'm not going to do that. I've had this conversation with a lot of guys that are kind of like some of my mentors and that are done playing. And it's like, it kind of comes down to, I don't want to travel like a player and not get to play. And I don't want to uproot my family. I mean, the coaching lifestyle, it's a long road. If you have aspirations to coach in the NHL, I mean, it's a long road. You have to move a lot. And I did that as a player and I just don't really have the interest in doing that again. And the latter half of my career, this sounds like a line, and I'm certainly proud of, me being fortunate to win a few times, but like the most rewarding stuff in my career was towards the end and mentoring young guys. And that's like, I hate saying it because it sounds so freaking corny, but like, it really is. Like when I look back at my career, like I think of like those friendships and those relationships. Like hockey, the game of hockey sucks in so many ways, but it's so awesome in other ways, right? Like the business side of things, that sucks. Like getting hurt, that sucks. But like the hockey culture is something that's so special. And like I truthfully, I owe pretty much all of the good things that I have in my life to this game, right? And like, I'm able to live where I live because of this game. I'm able to have the relationships that I have and friendships because of this game. I mean, the group that I played with in college, like our class is so tight and we talk so much still to this day. And we all got shit going on. We all got kids and families and all that. And then it's like, I met my wife in LA, and that was, I mean, I would have never met her if I wasn't drafted by one of 30 teams at the time, and it was out here. Like, but it's,
I think
I'm kind of like going on like
no,
yeah.
you're not, but just to let you know, like I didn't play a very high level of hockey, but hockey is a reason I have most of my things. Like I'm in a completely different business, and it's because I was able to make those relationships playing hockey with a game I love in men's league and in coaching kids when I was in New York, and making relationships with people that I had no idea had connections to my world. Right. So,
Right.
yeah, you can love the game as much as everybody else, and hockey culture is something that guys, you mentioned a guy that you've skated before, and you have a new conversation no matter what, you know what I mean? No matter what the level.
Yeah.
And suddenly you're like, you're in a different world. And I think it's great that you're looking at the life, but what do you even want to stay in the hockey world?
Yeah.
Like the game, is there something that you'd like to chase that you've never chased before?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. I kind of went off on a tangent, but
No, you know,
to bring it to answer your question
is.
and then bring it back. Yeah. Like if I did anything in the game, I mean, I like the broadcasting stuff, because we kind of said that it keeps me involved. I always say no to coaching, and kind of piggybacking off that, like if I do anything that would stay in the game, I'd rather make an impact on an individual level. And that's what I was kind of getting at with later in my career. Like, that's what I appreciate most about my career was being able to do that. And so, like, if I do stay, I don't know about the skill development stuff. But right now I'm just trying to be patient. I look back at just some of the opportunities I have now compared to just September. And I mean, there's a lot more, being on this podcast. Like, I didn't know you, like I just, and then now we've since worked together, and I don't know, I'm just like exposed to a lot of different things. So, I mean, I think management would be interesting, but that kind of is along the lines of coaching for me, like I'd have to uproot my family and move a lot. But I don't know, it would be really hard for me to just not do anything in hockey. And that's where I think the broadcasting thing is very intriguing for me. But I also have other interests too. I'm doing some business stuff to various degrees outside of it, or outside of the game. But if I can somewhat stay involved in whether that be in broadcasting or through my kids or skill development or something, I don't know. But back to the hockey thing, it's like, yeah, it's such a special thing, and it was like the biggest part of my life, my entire life. And I mean, I don't want to just completely quit it, cold turkey.
I think, it's funny because Marty's obviously, I'm, different career paths, obviously, same game. And it's ironic because, like, this weekend, the HSK are having a Las Vegas a Thunder night. Well, we have 14 guys from those teams that I played with, and we all keep in touch. And I mean, that's the bond. And like Ian, you said, like that there's just something special there. And then the thing is like, once you get out of the game, it's like, that's it. Thanks for coming. And whether it's an injury or they just don't want you anymore, and you got to find the rest of what your life looks like as a young person. My dad always said to me, he said, son, just make sure, I think it was mostly talking, well, on the ice or in the air, but just make sure you have options. And that's what you have now, Marty. And most of it is because of relationships you built over time. And that is the one thing about hockey. And like, even last night, like, you go upstairs, after you do the pregame show at T-Mobile, you go upstairs, and that's where all the coaches that sit upstairs and watch the scouts and the visiting team guys are, and there were some people from HSK up there last night. And I've been out of the game a long time. Marty's fresh out of it. I ran into people I hadn't seen in a long time, and you just keep in touch. And it's ironic, but I would be shocked if a bunch of these guys haven't seen you on TV, Marty, and commented on it. And hey, what are you doing? What's going on? And so there's kind of a brotherhood there, I guess, for lack of a better term. And how your path comes out of this is, to be determined still, right?
Yeah, and I think it, like, the hockey community is pretty tight and fairly small, but I don't know, it's like small and vast at the same time.
Yes.
But it, I don't know. I'd like to think that, I developed enough relationships, kind of like you said. I played long enough where, somehow hockey provides me, whatever I do next, whether it's in hockey or outside, perhaps hockey will be my avenue or my foot in the door. Like I've got one buddy who's in banking now, but he got to know, his boss that he now works for the a big company out of Pittsburgh, but like he utilized hockey and his connections in that, and that kind of got him his in. And that's not to sell him short by any means. Like, he's a really smart guy and good at what he does, but I don't know. It's a community that you can tap into that you utilize no different than alumni for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think you should be shy about using it. I think people go to a USC for a reason, because they want connections, not because they want to spend an extra $120,000 on their thing. It's making those connections, right? So I think you're I feel like I'm giving you a speech right now, but you're so young. You're still so young, even though you came out as a veteran, right? And life is still, it's all there for you. So you're so young, there's no reason for you to chase another dream, right? No matter what it is, whether it be hockey, whether it be something that everybody's like, what the hell? You know what I mean? Like you're able to do that. And I think, finding your passions is going to be really fun for you.
Yeah. Just check in on me if I like start painting or something.
Oh my
just
God.
you guys need to like, if I really go off the deep end here, like, you'd be like, hey Marty, like, you got to dial it. Like, it was like when I found out that
Or sunflowers.
President, is it George Bush?
Yeah.
Is he the one who paints?
Yeah.
He does, right? Like, and hey, that's great that that's his thing. But like, if I start doing something wacky, or if you see me like leaned over a pottery wheel or whatever, and I'm just, especially because you guys are down here enough. Like, if you poke your head into some place in Hermosa Beach and I'm just hunched over this pottery wheel forming this thing, then maybe you say like, hey Marty, how you doing? Maybe pull me out of that. But
Marty's cups, and you've just made a bunch of cups.
yeah, exactly. Hey, maybe we're honest. Maybe I should do that. But
that's awesome.
No, but it is exciting. Like, it's kind of scary. Like,
Absolutely.
I'm not quitting anything, but it's like it's been scary. It's been hard but it's also exciting at the same time, where it's like, hey, like, I have an opportunity to try something new, like whatever that may be. I don't know, but
Marty, how about just the transition upstairs to watching the game versus playing it? Obviously, you have a gift of the gab. You can articulate. All these guys in the league. You played against them. So How does that transition work? Like, how do you, because you only have a finite amount, like when you're on the ice, you have 60 minutes and you go out and play your 20 minutes and you affect a game. But when you're upstairs, you have a finite amount of time. You might come off a commercial break and have 30 to 45 seconds to get something out. How do you find your preparation? Do you rely on, obviously Mallard's fantastic and the VGK team is great, but how do you kind of prepare yourself and kind of from the ice to up above the ice?
Well, that was well, we might get 30 or 40 seconds if Taylor allows us to have that. I mean, half the time, I think that first intermission, I blink and it's basically over, but had to get a shot in at Taylor there.
Yeah.
Great dude. But
he's not really good at photography, but he is a good guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, that is true. That was, although, I mean, he rivaled my Baker thermometer picture, but no,
Well,
like I think like you brought up like the preparation thing. Like that was one thing, like if I'm going to do something, I don't want to half-ass it. And so like Mallard helped me a ton, just in terms of like, what to look for, what to prepare for. I mean, we get that show rundown and I get the notes, but I think just kind of like, and it's easy now because it's my buddies, but like just staying somewhat in tune of like some of the storylines for the team and what they're going through. I mean, I guess it's like I've watched some tape to try to get better, but I don't know. I just my biggest fear was to like get thrusted into this position and then act like I don't know, or not act, but like all of a sudden I don't know what I'm talking about, or at least it comes across as that. So I mean, the preparation thing like was important to me because I said I don't want to just show up and sound like an idiot. So but that said, like you mentioned, like the communications team and all that are so good at setting you up and I mean, like that part's hard, but then like when they guide you that way, like talking hockey is the easy part, like that's the fun part too. But yeah, I've tried to prepare. I've tried to, have an idea of what I wanted to say as much as you can. I mean, how it's structured. Like at the beginning, or the pregame show is pretty regimented, and after that, and then into the postgame show, it's all very reactionary. So there's not as much preparation. But I find like just taking notes during the game, the more notes, the better. You might not talk about it in the first or second intermission, but maybe it comes back. In the post-game show, maybe some of the stuff you write down doesn't come back at all, and that's fine too. But I kind of have that notebook that you and Mallard make fun of me. I don't know if that's what you were trying to get me to say, but
No.
I have that little tablet and I can go back and look at my notes. But yeah, like the preparation thing was important because I didn't want anyone to think that I wasn't taking it seriously or anything like that. But yeah, it takes a lot of prep. Like it's, you got to stay involved. You got to know, not, I don't really say the stats and stuff. Like every once in a while I'll bring something like that up, but I feel like as an analyst and, like I want to provide a little bit of insight rather than just stats. Like anyone can read stats. And you're really good at that too. And in terms of the preparation, like I was watching you, like when we worked together and then I watched the show when I'm not working on it, it's like, I feel like that's all part of preparation and learning from other people. And like you taught me stuff I'm not just saying this because I'm on the podcast and I have to, but like watching you do it, like you have like a good cadence, like you can tell that you're prepared, what you're talking about. And that was one of the things where I'm like, I just kind of want to be a sponge and learn from people because there is a certain cadence in talking and a cadence of the show. I think we talked about this maybe in between periods, one of them, during the period. uh, one of those nights where there's like a cadence of the show. There's a cadence in the way you speak. There's a cadence when you and I are working together and going back and forth and teeing another guy up and things like that. So I don't know. I want to get better at it. And I think that's just where like the whole athlete thing comes in, you know?
Yeah. You know, what's funny is a story from last night. So I had a bunch of stuff prepared last night and, but I was like, man, I just want to ask Marty about this. So I called Marty. I'm like, hey, Marty. And he goes, yeah. And he gave me some different, he just gave me some different feedback. And I was like, okay, I just want to know how I could go about this. And just wanted to ask Marty, like, talk about preparation. So I get on the show and Mallard looks at me after the first segment. He goes, hey, you got to bring it together. You got to tighten it up. So that's it, nothing. And then we come back and I'm like, and I got to tell him, I'm like, no, but I talked to Marty. I said, I talked to Marty. He goes, doesn't matter. Tighten it up. Tighten it up. So I said to Marty, I go, well, I guess that's it for me talking, you and I talking about it. Because Mallard, he goes, you don't have to tell him everything, but I tried to take a little bit of what Marty was saying and a little bit of what I was thinking and try and combine it. And Mallard's like, you got to tighten it up. So, there I am leaning, on reaching out, because I think that's really important. I think that's one thing that hockey players really do really well when they're playing the game. Obviously, this is a different side of the game for us, but you're only as good as the people around you. So there's always lots of chirps going on the set. So I got lit up last night. So I had to tell Marty, I was like, well, I tried. So.
Well, I just felt bad because you called me and it was like my kids had just gotten up from a nap and it was snack time. And they were like, if you don't put enough of the little pieces of cheese in front of them, they start losing it. So I was afraid that you couldn't even like hear me and what I was saying because they were just screaming. But
yeah, it's a lot of fun. It was good though.
Yeah.
Good info.
Yeah.
Well, thanks.
LB?
We've kept him for an hour. We don't want to keep him like he's gonna hate us in a second here. He's just like, you guys just.
I don't care. I'm good.
Okay, I got a couple questions.
Yeah.
We'll split the show. Yeah.
Just
do two parts.
I'm going to go completely off the book here. So I seen a little post on Instagram. You guys did a celebrity game with the Shoresy guys.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, is that your first celebrity game since you retired? And
well, that was the first time I even put skates on since my last game against Winnipeg, and what was that, April 12th or whatever. And it was funny, like talking about it after my wife and I, and she's like, is this the longest you've ever been like not having your foot in a hockey skate? And I was like sitting around, I'm like, April, I'm like doing the math, and I'm like, well, any summer. And then I thought, I was like, well, that injury that we talked about earlier, the 5 months, but I was like, I was skating during that. So I was like, yeah, I think this is the longest I've ever gone in my entire life actually being on the ice. And so I'll be honest, I was a little nervous, like going out there. It's like, just don't toe pick or fall flat on your face. Like, and the funny part is that I almost went out there for like it was like a weird, what was it? It was 2 20-minute halves with a shootout in between. But going out for the second, I still had my skate guards on. And the equipment guy caught me like, honestly, like 10 steps from the ice. And I'm like, oh God, that like crisis averted for sure. But no, it was
tired. That's what they would have said.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I'm done. I mean, odds are I probably would have fallen on a skate blade and sliced my face again with my luck or something. But no, it was actually it was fun. They asked the Kings alumni to do that, and it was a pretty cool event. I mean, I had heard there was like 7,000 people there. It was the lower bowl of Staple, or what, it's crypto now, crypto.com arena. Always Staples to me too. So the lower bowl was sold out. The fans were into it. It was fun. Like the Shoresy guys, they were great. Like it was a fun game to play. I mean, I think we made it, pretty exciting. I think we were down 2 goals like 3 separate times. But and then we won in some pretty dramatic fashion at the end. But it was a lot of fun. I mean, from just getting back on the ice to a fun group of guys. Like we were all both sides. Like, I mean, obviously we were trying to win and things like that, but it was like everyone was laughing and chirping each other in between whistles. Like nothing bad, obviously, just all in good fun. And then it was fun to play with play with my old D partner again in Matt Green. And it's like the last time he and I, played together was, I mean, hell, I don't even know what year that would have been. 16, maybe 7. I can't remember when Greener retired, but then Jarrett Stoll was out there, Trevor Lewis, Dwight King, and then, got to know a bunch of other guys, a couple podcast guys, like the Empty Netters guys and some other alumni, but Nate Thompson. So it was pretty fun. I guess if I'm not gonna play men's league, and I'm not like, people are like, well, you're not just gonna go skating, and I'm like, how big of a turd would I look like? Like, what am I going to open skate with no like stick or puck and just put my skates on? And I'm like, you know what? I like go out there. I'm like, I played in the NHL. Like, I just need to feed the beast a little bit, like, and just start ripping. Like, how big of a loser would I be if I did that? So I'm like, no, I'm not going out there. So my point being is that it's basically going to take like a charity event to pull me off the couch to play a hockey game. But yeah, it's like some people, yeah, and so I don't know, they're like, really, you're not just gonna go out and skate? And I'm
That's
like,
really funny.
I'm like,
Just
what? No.
Go to that rink, that outdoor rink at Universal they have at Christmas time, and see you flying around the ice.
Exactly. Like you should check on me more so if you see me doing that than if I'm hunched over that pottery wheel. Like honestly, like then you know that I've really lost it. Oh my God. It's like that LA Live. It's like the Christmas tree in the middle of the rink. And then it's like, oh, former NHL defenseman, LA Kings, like chewing up the ice for all these poor kids. Like it'd be like Happy Gilmore in the dodgeball game,
Yeah.
Or not Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison. Sorry, but
that's awesome. Yeah, you'd be with your Kings and our VGK alumni stuff on. Maybe your Blackhawks uniform.
Exactly.
Wearing a jersey and a pair of shorts.
Yeah,
that's right. No knee pads. Don't need those.
Yeah, it's like,
Marty, did you happen to score the game winner? Because you and game winners, they kind of go hand in hand with Staples, right?
Yeah, no, I did not. Trevor Lewis scored the game winner. It was funny though, like at the end, well, to give like a little bit more insight, like I'd never, like you said, like I'd never played in one of these charity games before, when I'm retired. And I remember like looking over at Jarrett Stoll and I'm like, hey, like, I don't know how these work. And we're on the bench. And I'm like, if I get like a chance to, like, am I shooting to score here? Or am I like just putting one off the pad? And he's like, I mean, he used some expletives, but he's like, are you kidding me? Like, we're shooting a score here. Like, we need to win this game.
Fuck yeah.
And yeah. And he's like, yeah, we're fucking shooting a score here. Like what? And he kind of just like looked at me like, what kind of question is that? And I'm like, well, I don't know, and then when we were down, it was like, guys were asking like, has an alumni group, because they played other teams, alumni, and they're like, have they won a game yet? And they're like, no. So they're like, so we could be the first loss, and we're like, we can't let that happen. So but yeah, so it was pretty funny. So I did not score. I scored a couple goals, but that was like perfect because I think like the MVP got a hat trick, and I wasn't looking to be the MVP of a charity game. So like I did enough, but slid right under the radar that contributed enough. But it was funny. Like I looked around and I had this like moment where we were lined up for the face-off. I think it was right after, there was like 30 seconds left. I told you it ended in dramatic fashion, but we basically had a 6-on-5 to kill. We were up 10-9. They just had to do this like shirtless lap thing that's like their tradition. You have to look that up, but fans loved it. But I look at this center ice draw, and I look to my right, and it's Matt Green. Jarrett Stoll is taking the face off. Trevor Lewis is on the right wing, and Dwight King's on the left wing. And I'm like, this was like the same. Like this was like a fivesome from the Stanley Cup final in like 2014 and 2012. And I'm like, and we're playing in a charity game now. So like that was us. Like I can't imagine like some of those like the Toronto alumni or Detroit. And it's like, and all of a sudden you got like Nick Lidstrom and you got like Stevie Y playing in this. And I'm like that it was just like a funny moment to me where I'm like, oh man, the band's really back together, but in a very different venue and capacity. You know, it's like, we used to play crypto, and now we're playing, we're like under a blue tarp in some college backyard, you know? Yeah.
That's great.
But yeah.
I love it. That makes me happy that you guys had fun doing that, because I seen it. I was like, I wonder what kind of, like, if people will show up, because it is LA. I was curious, you know, if people to hear that they showed up and to hear that you guys had fun is awesome, because I love that kind of stuff, like that show and like Spittin' Chicklets and all that stuff, kind of pushing hockey into a new world, right? And that's what those do. So it brings new people in. So it's great.
Yeah, well, I think like hockey is just. Yeah, and like that's one of the things, like I think like Biz has been so good, like with the TNT broadcast and things like that, where I feel like hockey needed, like I think Sharps, you and I have talked about it, like the whole like Shaq and Charles Barkley thing. You know, like hockey needed something like that. And I think Biz is providing that. You know, obviously there's other guys like that, but he's obviously kind of the shit disturber on the panel and things like, and I think it's good for the game, you know, like it gets people more interested. It makes it funny. I mean, I don't have to talk to anyone else to know that like laughter is, you know, it's gravitating, right? Like it draws people in, and it's like, if you can get that on a panel, like, people love the X's and O's stuff, but you can only have so much of that. If you can get people laughing or just see people having fun or shooting the shit, like it's good for the game.
Sorry, go ahead, LB.
I watched the college championship last night for football, and the Indiana coach at the end, they interviewed him, and he basically just repeated the game that had played. I'm like, come on, man, show some emotion, be excited. He almost let it out a couple times, but then he just like, that's all what happened. We're like, we watched the whole game. Just tell us how you're feeling. You know, make us be excited for you. So
I think Marty's right, and I think it's about entertainment. And you pull for your team, but people want to be entertained. And Biz was doing color the other night in the Buffalo game. I forget who they were playing. Philly. It might have been
Philly. Yeah, Philly. It was Buffalo, Philly.
And then after the game, he told Rob Ray if Buffalo beat Philly, he could paddle them at center ice. So after the game, and I mean, it's got nothing to do with hockey, just entertainment. And the guy, business put himself out there, and it's funny, he ran into Keith Jones, who was on the panel last night. He's the president of the Flyers now. And those guys, he was really good on there too. And that's what it's about. Like we talked about, it's about entertaining people and pulling more people into the game, right? Through whatever avenue it is.
It's not taking yourself too serious, right? So that's what the game at the end of the day is an escape from the real world. And him being an escape, he's an escape. It's what takes us away from everyday life, right? So, and he does a great job of it. Anyways, enough of my speeches.
Yeah, it's the second one today. Marty, Marty's got to have a nap. Hey, before we go, Marty, though, you can't be on any kind of pod or TV without a question about the art behind you, because we were watching Marty on the NHL Network, and they really all they wanted to get to is that picture behind them. Where that picture behind you? Where is that? Is that in SoCal?
Yeah, that's the Hermosa Pier.
There you go.
So you you just walk right out the Magic Comedy Club and go down the pier, walk underneath, and that's what you see. But no, it was funny. I was on NHL Network yesterday, previewing the game, and I was like, well, they like basically made fun of me for it. So I was like, I can't go to another place in my house now. Like, I suppose I could sit right over there, but like, and then they never brought it up. So I was like, but I was only on there for about like 10 minutes, but it was pretty quick. But yeah, it's just kind of my spot. I mean, it's away from the kids. You can't, I'm up on the roof.
Why were they chirping that photo? It's a great photo. It's like looking into the Pacific Ocean. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I know. That's what I thought. And it's like a local guy here that I'm buddies with that does some of the photography. Yeah, I don't know, but it's all right. They can love it or hate it. I'm not taking it down. I like it.
We got to get you a frame of the Baker thermometer. We got to get that up in the house.
No, right? I just need to get like some AI version of that just puts me at the thermometer all the time. Like, I just need the background.
It's going to be my screensaver.
Your screensaver should just be the thermometer, right? Yeah.
So, hey, Marty, thanks for coming on. Normally we always ask Millard when he just comes on, but do you have a shout out? We do shout outs normally. Any shout outs to anybody today? You don't have to shout anybody out, but if you got someone to shout out, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I guess we have to give a shout out to Millard. I don't know, what's the easy one? Like, hi, mom. Is that what everyone does? No, I guess I don't really have any shout outs. I mean,
the Millard was a good one. The Millard was a good one.
Yeah, I'd probably shout you guys out actually if I weren't on your own podcast. But
next podcast you do, just shout us out. We're very popular in Australia, so we're gonna get a ratings boost with you on in Australia.
All right, perfect. Maybe shout out to India with the communications team in BJK, because she's always on me about my camera placement, and she says that I sit too high at the game, so too much of my thighs are showing. So now I've really like just cut it. I've cut it off at my chest. So I'll give a shout out to India, and hopefully she agrees with my camera placement.
Let's be honest. The shout out should really be for Dana Bryson. That's who the shout out should be.
Oh yeah, I should shout out Dana. I haven't seen. I've only been to the facility once, and I think that they were on the road, but I got to see those guys. Maybe I'll pop in unannounced one day. But yeah, shout out to Dana. I mean, he's probably busy at some baseball tournament right now. So yeah, because the guy's got about 1,000 kids, and they all,
he can pack every bag except for he forgets condoms every time he's doing something.
Hey, he's got Tanner and Tyler. Does he have an Alec mixed in there? Like, you didn't have that big an impact on him? Like,
no, I don't think I did. It's unfortunate, but
they're Tanner, Toby.
Tanner, Tyler.
Tanner.
There's one more T.
Tanner, Tyler, Toby.
Teeth.
Tommy.
No. It's all. They're all really interesting names. I love it.
Yeah. He's a really good dude. He was a guy that was really good to me. I mean, when I first got drafted there, he always took good care of me, and we always had some good laughs. He's a good dude.
Frank the Tank.
Sure is.
Yeah. See if you can get us some sticks when you're down there, Marty. I had to go buy my first stick. Something happened to my stick. My buddy got me from. I was like, holy! I haven't had to buy a stick in I didn't even know how long. So that hurt. But then what hurt even worse is I took it in the shooting room, and I thought I was really ripping. I went out in the ice. I can't even raise it. I'm like,
that's awesome. I'll see what I can do.
Yeah. I was in the shooting room. I'm like, oh yeah, bar down, no problem. Get on the ice. Can't even lift it. So I'm like, oh God, this sucks. So
yeah.
Love it.
All right. LB, you got anything else, Marty? You got
we got to get him back and Millard on the same show. We'll just have a round table.
Yeah, that'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, I'll let you guys go. So
Yeah.
it'll be fun.
Good.
All right,
All
Thanks,
boys.
right, well,
buddy.
thanks for
Thanks for
having me,
coming on.
guys.
Thanks for dropping by,
Yeah.
man, and congratulations
Yep.
on everything. I'm glad you're getting better every day, and you're just having fun. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and I'm in Hermosa now, so if you're around, let me
Love
know.
to have you out. Love to have you out.
All right,
All
sounds
right.
good. See you guys.
See you, Marty.
Bye. Bye.
I can see why you say you always have fun with him. He's really
Hey,
fun. But you
yeah.
know what? Also, they don't. A lot of guys come on and they don't know how serious they're supposed to be or how like which way they're supposed to go, and you could tell he couldn't figure out which way we're going. But both of us. We're so curious about how he dealt with that injury.
Yeah.
So I was glad that he told us about it.
Well, I think you get an insight into the kind of person he is. I mean, he played a long time, 3 Stanley Cups. He's revered. I
Handsome
mean, he
son of a
played a
bitch, too,
year in
huh?
Chicago and they just absolutely loved him, revered in Vegas. And you know what? He's so much fun to work with because he's got the best chirps, but he has a way of articulating the game at an extremely high level, but making you feel like what you have to add is good too. And that's kind of the hockey thing. Like he's just a guy that he's just a great guy and hell of a career. And now Marty's going to be able to go wherever he wants in the TV side of it, if and when he wants.
Yeah, yeah, like I said when I said he's older, but he's young in life, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's great, and you like to let a guy know world's your oyster right now, bro, and just take advantage of it. So
Well, he's going to be getting pulled in a lot of different directions because he is
he's a
so
handsome,
valuable to so many
handsome son of a
people.
bitch. I've said it 4 times. He's a handsome son of a bitch.
Oh yeah, no, Marty's right. He's got that nice base being down in SoCal, but just a really good guy. And yeah, you got it. Your base is pretty good too. But good guy, a lot of fun to work with, and keep an eye open for him. You're going to see him just keep on growing in popularity. I think there's going to be opportunities galore, and I think he'd be spectacular. I always use the word fabulous, but I think Marty would be unbelievable as a coach that kind of like comes in, works with guys in the organization, whether it's at the NHL level or the American League level or the ECHL level, where he comes in, just spends times with guys, works with them after practice, talks to them during practice, gives them ideas and thoughts, and just ways to build their game. And I think there's definitely an avenue for him there. And I know he doesn't want to do coaching right now, but I don't know if that's really coaching as much as it is helping.
It's more like what's his face? That did it with he's doing specialty programs with scorers. You know what I'm talking about. You played with him in Detroit. He's doing his own thing.
Oh, Adam Oates.
Yeah, he could do something like that.
Yeah, I think he could. I do believe, there's going to be opportunities with places he's been to do more of that. I'd love to see him, working with an organization. I mean, I'd love to see him here in Vegas working with these guys. Who knows what that will look like, but you can see why, as much as he reveres the VGK, they revere him, and so that's kind of cool. So
Yeah, obviously he's still in touch with the LA Kings, plays with their alumni too.
yeah, and the alumni, his buddies, Stoll, Green.
Watching Chicago. So
Yeah.
anyways, you get to
Gotta go.
you got to go teach the kids. What's your shout out? What's your shout out?
Oh, okay. Let's see here. You know what? When you brought up two great shout outs in India and Dana, because obviously you guys are tied to Dana, and I know Dana through you guys, Bryson, trainer with the LA Kings. But India, you know what? That's a great shout out to kind of just double up on. India lost her grandma this week, and she's in Boston, and a bunch of the people from the team are going over to the celebration of life for her grandma today. India Shea, one of the nicest people in the world. So I'll double up and big hug for India and her family. And she's just so special, and she does so much for the VGK and to help people like Marty and myself. So that's my shout out.
I can't top that, so I won't be doing a shout out this week. See you next week, Jeff.
Love to all.
Top.
Bye.